I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And we are back with a recap for one of our favorite shows, Force. Season 2 is beginning, and we couldn't be more excited because season 1 definitely was a hit. So season 2, episode 1 is titled Tommy's Back, and he's back.
Mm-hmm.
So we are very excited to talk about this episode, but before we do, please make sure you subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and also like the video. All of those things help support us and helps our channel grow. So we appreciate you guys showing us love so far. But let's hop into this episode. Man, Tommy is back with a bang. And as we know, last season, things went real left, CBI split up. So we got Jenard and Diamond now on competing teams here. And Tommy, he's going to roll with Diamond because obviously Jenard be tripping.
Big time.
And Tommy also has a chip on his shoulder. He is upset still about the death of Lilliana. And he wants revenge. So, that was kind of the opening scene where we see him really still going through it about her loss.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured that would be a big motivator for him this season because she was a big part of his life last season.
Yeah, I was mad.
So
I was mad about the Lilliana thing.
Yeah,
in the opening scene.
Go ahead.
I was saying the opening scene, it seemed like when he was hearing the voiceover from Lilliana, when he was mourning her, she was saying it's been a couple of days. So it hadn't really been that long since she had passed.
Right.
Yeah, this is still very fresh.
Yeah, very fresh in his mind. And while I understand Tommy, how he acts, he, when he has something to do, he goes out and he'll do it no matter what, he takes it all on his shoulders, but
yeah.
I wonder about this relationship with this not newfound relationship, but this new coming together with Diamond as 50-50 partners, because whereas Diamond is kind of subdued, he wants to think about things before he makes a move, and Tommy is like, scrap all that, I got to get things done. And
well, who that sound like though? Right, like that though. More methodical and thought about things before they reacted. That was like Ghost, right?
I knew you. I knew you swing that.
Although maybe for different reasons though, because Diamond he really could just go right back to jail if Tommy gets him in some mess, and especially with this new PO officer, like he seems like he is no nonsense. So it's gonna be tough. He's really gonna have to watch it this season.
Well, you know what? Everybody has a price. Question is, can they meet it? But right now he's new. Brother's new. He wants to do this job. I know
he seems straight laced.
Yeah, but you know what? They're the ones that'll buy in sometimes faster than others. Because he's so straight laced. But then he wants to, as he said, I really want this to work for you. Really? Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, well, we will see. But I get why Diamond is precautious and, trying to rein him in. But of course, we know there's no reining Tommy in, especially, when he went to go get some information about the Flynns and he stabbed that dude up.
Oh,
that made my stomach turn a little bit.
He was on demon time.
Yeah.
The episode's called Tommy's Back. He's back and on demon time.
Yeah,
exactly,
he is.
Right.
But
exactly right.
Tommy is not out of the woods either because the cops are on his case too.
They know he's alive now.
I figured that will be coming out soon. It was a matter of time before people realized, like, okay, this was a farce.
Right.
And they also they took the fingerprints and everything, so they definitely have a positive way of identifying him.
Right.
And they have it in their minds on the Fed side that we can take Tommy down and get the Serbs, we can get the Flynns, we can get CBI and Garcia. So it's like they really have it out for him, which I'm like, Tommy don't even know they on his trail yet.
Yeah.
So he got to chill with the killings.
Right. But he came into town like he's already moving into the city, thinking about getting to the top of the food chain. Like he already telling Diamond, like, well, why we gotta go through Miguel and so.
Yep.
Just
go straight to the source. I'm like, that's not a great idea.
Well, Tierra and I were talking just shortly before. In fact, Tierra, I think you mentioned the fact that he's always the number 2 guy in the lineup. And so, yeah, while that's true, but it won't be for long. I mean, Tommy, does he have the right idea? Look, hit them while they least expect it, because if you give them a crumb of what it is you're trying to do, you don't have the manpower. So in a way, I kind of agree with that. You know, get them while they least expect it, and that's how Tommy is. That's how he operates. You know, in a lot of ways, Ghost taught him a lot on how to be a ghost, because Tommy will sneak up on you and you don't know until you're dead.
Yeah. But also, it's like there's a lot of regrouping going on. And like you said, that can be a vulnerable time. But also within their crew, they have disloyalty. The dude, Chewy, you know, I was like, you know.
There's always one.
Always one.
There's always one. When I saw him popping up, I was like, up there we go, right there. I knew, and then I saw the way Tommy was looking. I said, he ain't gonna make it messing around with Tommy. Diamond was just like, you know, let him go. I knew Tommy was going to finish him off, because Tommy already knew. He was like, this dude he's going to turn.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the problem with attacking while you're regrouping. Is like you don't even have your own crew all in line yet. And so that can make you vulnerable as well. So it's just a lot going on amongst everybody. You know, even Flynn is kind of going through it on his side.
But Tommy wants to do it all by himself.
Go ahead.
Look, he tried to take out Walter. He wanted to take out Walter. And I'm like, wait a minute, Tommy, it's broad daylight.
He opened him out.
You don't even have a silencer on your gun. You just ready to take him out. Broad daylight and all. And that's how Tommy operates. You know, it's very unconventional, but he has his way.
Very reactionary.
When has that ever
very reactionary and kind of impulsive.
Yeah, and so that's the thing with Tommy too. I think that when he demanded that meeting with the plug, Miguel, you know, Diamond tries to appease him to keep everything moving, keep the peace or whatever. But I think Miguel sensed too that, like, okay, this dude, he's overstepping his boundaries. He's like, I deal with Diamond. Yeah. And here you are out here trying to, you know, make demand for double the product and whatnot. I don't even know you. We ain't never even seen you before. So that's why I was like, Tommy, he can be a firecracker in that way, and he can get a little bit ahead of himself a little bit in times.
And, you know, to provide even more context, Chicago is still kind of segregated, because you see when Tommy first came, you know, dude was like, well, shouldn't you be in the suburbs? So, you know, they probably thinking, oh, this could be a cop or whatever. Like, who is this white boy in this neighborhood flexing and overstepping, over talking Diamond, you know? So, yeah. And Miguel seemed crazy. Miguel's crazy. You know, we saw that from Jenard. Jenard was being pressed out by everybody in this episode.
Jenard is really foolish. Like, I think he really, you know, another person that let their ego or, you know, whatever their demands get ahead of what actually is making sense in the situation. Because as bad as he wants his own crew and he wants to be independent and do his thing, he does not have the know-how like Diamond does.
Nor does he.
And you can see it from how he's moving with his crew. Like, how he even had to go to Miguel and tell him that he was short. Like, you don't do that this early on. You just started.
And particularly, you know
So
Miguel.
It's not a good impression.
Well, you know Miguel. And why would come up there, you know, talking about you light and I'll get it to you next week? That's not going to fly with most kingpin. And then, you know, Jenard, his ass is light. And so I'm not understanding why he's flexing, because you don't have the backup to do much of anything. And with that split with your brother, you're even lighter now. So you really need to chill. But no, what does he do? He wants to go and then bring on Chewy big mistake, because Chewie doesn't have the sense he was born with. He's got a short man complex. So, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
And then add to it the fact that he got a serve issue too. How you giving away territory that ain't even in your possession?
Exactly.
So that was a big thing too. I'm like, Jenard just seems like he dug himself in a hole for real. He looks weak.
Right. And this is why, they probably should have never split in the first place. Like, he's paying for trying to take out his own brother. Now, I understood his beef with Diamond, because it seemed like Diamond, he said he's out the game, but then he seemed to throw himself over for Tommy, who's a newcomer to the city. So I do understand Jenard's beef, but to go to the extent of trying to murder your own brother in a treachery that he did, that's why he's in a situation that he's in, because they would have been stronger together if they could have all worked it out, the beefs and stuff, him, Tommy, Diamond, or whatever. But that's why I kind of feel like ultimately I think they're gonna end up back together, because blood is thicker than water. And even though they beefing right now, Diamond and Jenard, I think at some point during the season, I think they might reconnect. That's my prediction.
There's a chance, because I don't think Diamond. He's kind. I think he has a heart, and I don't think when it comes down to it that he would just let his brother be killed off. Even though they saying they dead to one another, I'm like, I think when it comes down to it, Diamond has way more compassion and empathy than Jenard does.
Well,
so you might be right on that one, but they definitely would have been stronger together. And Jenard definitely looks weak.
But we also got to.
I was gonna say, especially when you see his girl Shanti trying to come up to him and offer him money. I'm like, oh, so you really looking weak.
But we also have to remember that Jenard went to Claudia for this arrangement between the two of them. And the reason he went to Claudia is because he's got to make up that deficit with McGill. So he was hoping to get that ride with Claudia, and Claudia flat out turned him down. So now he's in even, a worse condition than he was before. And to be perfectly honest with me, he is in such a bad shape. I don't know how he's going to come up with that extra money. I don't know how much it is, but he's in such a bad shape that he may not have a chance to get back with his brother, because McGill may have to take him out.
He's down bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's down bad. I said, the only good thing that happened to him was that he got to tell to see this episode. Because everything else, he got pressed out by Miguel. What's his name? Mikolo. What was his name? The serve. Mikovic. He pressed him out too. So
yeah. So that's what I was saying. And Jenard, I think if he can make it through these issues that have come up this first episode, be okay. I think he'll figure out something, because ultimately I think he's trying to prove a point to his crew and to his brother that he can do it. He can be independent and whatnot, but he definitely is off to a bad start.
Yeah.
And speaking of Miguel, I thought it was crazy for Tommy to try to get in with his sister. I'm like, you tripping. Maria was definitely she's a cutie, but I was like, Tommy, you see who her brother is and you still going for it.
Tommy don't care. That's one thing, he does not care.
No, he doesn't. And
we see, but that alliance that he made with Maria turned out to be beneficial for him later on down the line when D-Mac ended up getting injured. So that was I think D-Mac had an idea about selling drugs through social media or online or whatever. And Tommy obliged him, which might have been a real bad mistake, because here D-Mac is shot up again. So
well, he didn't get shot up. Remember, he was still recovering from the gunshot wound. It got
okay. So I wasn't sure if it was a new injury.
No,
or if it was
it got it was
Got
infected.
infected. Yeah.
And that's
Okay,
why
so
he had to go to the
I think
Okay.
I missed that point because I thought maybe something went wrong with the app and somebody ran
No,
it on
no,
the-
No.
he had an infection.
Look.
Okay,
They were
so
taking
that
a
makes more
page.
sense.
They were taking a page out of Tyreek's situation, selling drugs online, but they are going to TikTok selling drugs online. Look, that's the worst place you can go. Guys out there who, if y'all want to emulate this, get that off your mind right now, because FBI is covered with they're on top of TikTok like nobody's business. So to me, that is the absolute
They
worst
are
place.
they're talking about all sorts.
Exactly. That's the absolute worst place to go out and sell drugs. So
But young people are innovative though. They
well,
are. So
well, that I don't. Yeah, they are. But TikTok, no. And that's one of the other things we were talking about earlier. Because while I know Tommy wanted to get that formula out of Claudia's hands, but in effect, you've given the world that formula. So now, not only is it worthless to Dahlia, but I mean to Claudia, but it's not going to do you a whole world of good either, because you had something that was so unique.
well, that was the plan though. That was the plan.
I get the plan.
He was, because
no, don't get me wrong.
Diamond said, listen.
I know, I get the plan, but I'm saying, where does the plan take you? So in other words, what good is it, even though you've done what you wanted to do, which is get it out of Claudia's hands, but you also put it in the hands of anybody else that around the world that can make this thing. So, and they may be able to do it better than you and faster.
Right. But they're no longer a threat though. It doesn't matter, because now it's worthless. Because the thing that made Dahlia was that it was exclusive.
Right.
That's what they were riding on, that it was exclusive. And that's why the doctor was so important, because they were the only ones that had it and stuff. But when Diamond had that conversation with Tommy and said, our competitors are Miguel and the Serbs, and then they were like, oh, then they got the text saying that Dahlia was back on the street. He was like, oh, I got this. I'm gonna shut her down. So he took her out of competition by having JP put the recipe all over it and made it worthless. So he eliminated her and Dahlia, period, as a competitor. And so it was a smart plan.
Yeah, I think for Tommy, it's less about the fact that Dahlia can be reproduced by anybody. It's more so the fact that the Flynns have been isolated. You're no longer a threat, and I got you back in some way, shape, or form. So I think Tommy was like, the fact that you don't have it's you specifically, I don't want to have it. So that's a win for me.
I got it.
Yep.
I got it.
So
and unfortunately, Dr. Lauren had to take a bullet in the head because of this. I don't know why Claudia jumped to such a.
Because
well,
his
I do
plan.
know why, but yeah, but I mean, Claudia just went off the deep and just shot her right in the head.
Because she was the only one
She thought, yeah, but she should have.
I was so mad with Claudia.
But Claudia should have known that the Tommy had access to it as well, because remember earlier on, Tommy was trying to hook up with her about Dahlia.
And I guess he figured Lilliana is dead, so she probably was like, who else? Because Lilliana was helping to cook and JP, but I guess she didn't even think about JP.
Exactly.
And Lauren is kind of like the first person you would think about, especially since they had that argument a little bit early in the episode where Lauren was like, I don't want to do this or whatever. And, Claudia was basically like, either you do it or I'm going to kill you. So maybe she thought that Lauren did that to try to get out of, the situation. So I was like, yeah, that might have made a little sense to her why she targeted her first.
I can understand going to her, but Dr. Lauren was very much afraid of Claudia. And that's not a move that you would make and then try to deny it. That would be a move that you would make and say, yes, I wanted this out in the street. I wanted it away from you because you're dangerous. You want to do X, Y, and Z, whatever. A person that would do such a horrific thing, because that is really signing your death certificate, bar none. So take a minute to listen to her and then scratch your head and say, well, okay, who else could have done this?
But that move cost her relationship with Vic, because now he's like, look, I don't even want to work with you at all, because here you are, you acting no better than Dad. Like, he was making calls without me, and here you are doing the same thing. Absolutely. So I don't want to be bothered with none of y'all.
Absolutely.
So Vic might be the wild card this season in terms of loyalties. He might end up flipping too.
I think so, because he's still angry about Gloria and stuff. So I think they can't, his father can't count on him. And now Claudia definitely can't count on him because well, first of all, she showed that she's untrustworthy. When I saw them talking about getting together, I said she's gonna do the same thing to him that she did to Tommy. She's gonna go behind his back and everything. It's all about her because she's trying to prove herself. Because she has issues. She has identity issues because she knows within that family they always rely on the men. And she ain't going, and she is so desperate to prove herself. That's the issue with her. And I was mad when she killed the doctor and stuff. And she's on my hands list. I'm still mad about Lilliana, and now I'm mad about the doctor.
Yeah, definitely. And so like I said, Vic is gonna be the wild card. But you know, Dad got some issues too, because the people over from Dublin, they are still upset that the men that they sent there in support of their problem got killed. And so, you know, they're trying to work out a negotiation where they can create a peaceful deal. And it comes down to money. It always does. But, you know,
money that he doesn't
have enough money to pay them.
Exactly.
He has no money, not enough money to pay them. So his thing is, I'd rather go to war than to give, you know, the dude, I think his name was Brendan. He was like, I'd rather go to war than to give Brendan, you know, a chance to, you know, throw that in my face. So it looks like it's about to be a lot of infighting on all sides. So that's going to create not only a lot of heat and attention in the streets, but I think it's going to be a lot of casualties that's going to make, like I said, the alliances are going to continue to be tested, because when you got men falling left and right, you don't have an army to support what you're trying to do.
Right.
So we might see some more regrouping and maybe some reunions of, like you said, maybe brothers come back together. Maybe Vic rejoins the CPI guys. You never know.
Well,
and it's gonna be. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Like I said, there's gonna still be some growing pains with Tommy and Diamond too, because their styles are so different. You know, because they're still new partners, and Diamond is cool, collected like Ghost, and Tommy is still Tommy's moving a little more strategic, but he's still a hothead.
Well, I mean, that move on Walter was just really, I mean, I really was scratching my head on that. That was just an open, brazen, I'm going to shoot you, I'm going to kill you regardless kind of move. Didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Well, we know.
Well,
Tommy is emotional, and he is desperate to avenge Lilliana.
But we all know in the street that gets you killed, because he had no backup.
Tommy is being true to Tommy. That even Kim said a long time ago when she talked about the characters of Tommy and Ghost, she said Tommy is all heart. Tommy's made of heart, and so he is emotional. He operates. So the Flynns are in his crosshairs because he knows one of the Flynns killed Lilliana. So that's he's on go. He's on go about that. He is on go for the Flynns. And that's why I knew Chewie was out of here. When Chewie started out and stuff, I was like, Tommy, if dude betrays them, Tommy gonna get him up out of here.
Tommy is the definition of it's on site.
It's up in his stuff.
No, I mean he's cold-blooded for real. You know, Jenard and Shanti. You know, Jenard got it going all kind of ways, because Shanti can kick his behind too. So you know, he better be real nice to her as well, because you know he's just, his back is up against four walls. I don't know what he's going to do.
Got a soft spot for him though.
Like, for now.
For now. She likes him.
Yeah, she does. He likes her.
So yeah, he does. You could tell there was some chemistry when he came into the gym when they were talking and stuff. I was like, okay, they like each other.
Yeah.
Did you guys also notice that Adrian broke up with Diamond earlier in the episode through a text message? Yeah, so I was like, here she was last season talking all that stuff about how she was gonna ride with him and she didn't care about their different lifestyles and whatnot. But I guess the heat got to her. She got too hot in the kitchen.
Yep.
Said, I ain't built for this.
Nope. And she's
But
not.
she did what Keisha should have done with Tommy.
Right.
Because if Moran has any sense, like, I don't know, like, I want Tommy to be happy. I want Tommy to have a love interest and stuff because it didn't work out with Keisha. But people that hook up with Tommy die. So
yeah,
Moran, like I know.
Yeah.
Another thing I caught about Maria's relationship with her brother Miguel is that she gives him his diabetes shots and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, well, I wonder if that might not be, a weakness that somebody can exploit against Miguel.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy definitely can. He can definitely take advantage of that, get some poison or whatever. And that's the end of that. But, still messing with Miguel's sister is not probably the healthiest thing.
Yeah, that's not.
But I do want to shout out to the Shy.
Right, she told him that herself.
Yeah, I do want to shout out to the Shy cast that we find on this show. We saw Nook.
Yes.
And Miriam.
We saw Nook. Yeah.
And Hyman as placed
out
Dre. Yeah, so I was like, God, you saw one, and then there are two more popping up. So I'm like, okay, they're working.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a Power Shy crossover because we haven't seen him yet. But Bakari from the Shy is Marshall on Force. Yeah. So
a lot of crossover between the Chicago-based shows. So it's good to see that everybody, especially amongst this writer strike situation, that people are still working, and it's good to see crossover on shows. Even before that, a lot of these people were working on this show. Yeah. So I just love to see them get to show their range.
Yes. Exactly. And I like hearing the Chicago artists featured in the episodes too, because soundtrack for Force. We're sure to hear Gierbo. We're gonna hear Dirk. We're gonna hear the Chicago artists on this show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one thing they do, is they keep it true to Chicago for sure. So I'm very excited about this season. Definitely, since there's a new I think Gary Lennon is doing the show this season. Yeah, so they switched some of the writing around, and so that's going to be a nice little addition to add some. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say he's a new showrunner, and we know him from the original Power. So good luck.
Yeah, it's definitely a good look. So I'm excited to see what they got up their sleeve for us. Season 1 was definitely really good and full of action. So I'm looking forward to some of those same elements this season. They know how to keep us on our toes.
That's right.
So it's great that they are back. I'm really, really excited.
Me too. It's been a while since we had Power back on our screens. Because you know what? Ghost went off like in May.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
over a year. So definitely back to have the Power. Glad to have the Powerverse back.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys want to add any other predictions, or do you want to formalize who can get the hands list and the game ball?
Yes. So let's who can get the hands. Claudia, for sure.
Claudia's getting the hands 100%. Yeah, I think game ball. I kind of want to give it to Maria, because she kind of came and saved the day when the people in the hospital was just letting the folks that really were injured just sit there.
Yeah, just sit there. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's definitely game ball. Definitely. I like Tommy's move.
Definitely game ball.
He bought JP that bar. That was real cool. That was a brotherly. That was family type.
Yeah, that's a good look.
Yeah, that was a real good look.
I did like that.
Another game ball. Listen, look at Kate trying to stay off the stuff.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, Kate.
Yeah, you know what? In the way she is with the
D-Mac.
with the his nephew, D-Mac, I feel like there's a redemption arc coming along for Kate, which makes me nervous. Because when people start getting on that redemption path, they can get up out of here. So I was like, okay, so she's trying to get clean. She's trying to be a good grandmother, and stuff. I was like she trying to be involved. I'm like, Kate. That's one of my predictions. I'm nervous for Kate this season.
Yeah, that was a good catch. I mean, I definitely enjoy Kate on the show because she is a little bit of the comic relief.
It was funny.
But
Tommy trying to push.
Watch out, Kate.
Yeah, and Tommy trying to push drugs on the Kate.
Push the drugs on her.
She's like, no, I'm done with that.
That's always been her bag. That's always,
Yeah, I know.
That's all he's known coming up. So to see this Kate, he's like, what?
Right. So yeah. But yeah, overall, this was a fantastic opener. I think we got a lot to look forward to this season. So to all the viewers out there, please drop down in the comment section and let us know your thoughts on this episode and any predictions you have for the season. Definitely looking forward to reading those and seeing what you guys think. Make sure you also follow us on all of our social media platforms. We are at The Spot Real Talk on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. So give us a follow wherever you see fit. You guys got anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good.
No. Okay. I think we're good. Like I said at the opening, subscribe to the channel, click the like button, and go ahead and click that notification bell so you get alerted every time we post. We got some stuff up our sleeves that you are not going to want to miss. So we thank you again for watching, and we will see you next time for episode 2 recap. Night.
I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, let the squeeze out, see the indoors when we're throwing down, oversized jumping with our underwear out. I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, let the squeeze out, see the indoors when we're throwing down, oversized jumping with our underwear out. Like they're bringing anything to the table, bro, I'm not your son, see I'm able, I do my own bits, limited edition, no some missing classic shit.